Welcome to this week's show. This week, we look at Deputy President William Samoei Ruto's religious strategy. How is he planning to use his religious connection to woo the voters to see himself in State House? First, you must give credit where it is due. DP William Ruto has perfected the art. He is said to have been chairman of the Christian Union while back in the university days. In fact, he says himself, he met his wife, Rachel Ruto, in church. That shows you how deep he's entrenched within the religious faith. And one more thing. One thing which the late president, Daniel Arap Moi, must have taught him is to carry the Bible and go to church, at least on Sunday, because that is what the late president used to do. Even when he retired to his Kabarak home, he will be seen every Sunday morning with the Bible in his hand, heading to church at Kabarak. So, is this strategy, is this inclination to religion going to help Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the Deputy President of Kenya, to ride high and enter State House? That is what we look at. Now, since 2013, when the Deputy President, William Samoei Ruto, became Deputy President, he hastened, he moved fast and ensured that he had started building a religion-centered political constituency through his frequent harambes in churches and mosques. That saw him traverse the country in many parts to fundraise, to church activities, to activities in mosques. In fact, in recent weeks, 2 weeks to be exact, he has had over 8 delegations in his official residence in Karen and back home at Sugoi in Uasin Gishu County. This shows that the Deputy President, William Samoei Ruto, is persuaded that religion could be a key to his State House bid and his ambition to lead the country, which is sometimes polarized along tribal lines, because people vote also in this country first and foremost on those grounds. In Kenya's politics, as we know it, ethnic alliances comes first, and then religious ranks high up as a potent for mass mobilization. And the DP knows this very well and is betting big on this one to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta. As much as he has been investing elaborately in a network that can be seen to strike directly a rapport with religious leaders across the country. In fact, some say he has invested so heavily that in the 1,450 wards, he dedicates a full day to ensure he gets in touch with religious activities and leadership within those wards. That is how deep the man from Sugoi, who wants to be president of this republic, is or has pervaded the networks within the country. Secondly, it is said that the DP had planned, before Corona, had an elaborate plan to ensure that he has visited virtually every church in the country, in the constituencies, in the wards before the general election. But since Corona came, he has slowed down. But he continues to meet delegations in his current home to ensure that his connection with the masses, with the religious fraternity in the different parts of the country is still alive. Thirdly, Kenyans must realize, must have seen that he has built an altar in his current residence, where he meets and prays with family. In fact, when the delegations, which he has been receiving in his current residence, go there, they meet in this altar, they pray for his leadership, for his family, and they pray together. That shows he still wants to keep that connection with God and with the religious leadership throughout the entire republic. Fourthly, the DP's religious strategy, William Samoei Ruto and his religious strategy, has even caused ripples not only within the church and the other religious connections, but among political rivals. His close alliance with the religious leaders has seen some of the religious leaders within other areas trying to put a stoppage to this. In fact, last year and the late 2018 saw some religious leaders trying to come up with guidelines, even a law, to guide church harambes. That was not to be because it was seen to have targeted one political leader in the name of William Samoei Ruto. In fact, opposition leader Raila Odinga did complain, and others did complain about the hefty harambe amounts he was giving in different church activities in 2017, in 2018, and even in 2019, which is last year. But the man from Sugoi does not stop. He has never stopped that strategy. He has never stopped in giving back because he believes that is the only way of keeping a connection with his grassroots support which he has throughout the country.
We know how much the deputy president earns in salaries. We know also the companies in which he has got interest. No company can make that kind of profit. Not even Brookside can make that kind of profit. Now, the president will tell us where he and the deputy president get the money that they're producing every week in Harambee.
I find many people struggling with why people are giving in church. It's because they haven't discovered the secret of touching God. Naomba muombe wagundue siri ya baraka katika taifa letu la Kenya.
It must also be noted that religion all over the world has played a major role in some leaders ascending to power. But whether that kind of strategy works in this country is yet to be seen. Dr. William Samoei Ruto, in 2018, this is just an example, brought together the Bible Society of Kenya and the Bible Translation and Literacy, and they organized a huge harambe for the purposes of translation of the Bible. This event was at the Nairobi Club, and President Uhuru Kenyatta attended. In fact, he supported what his deputy was doing at that time. Dr. Ruto has made countless trips. I don't want to talk about particular ones, and he has visited churches to fundraise and to do other religious activity. Within that strategy, he has also embraced mainstream churches, such as the Catholic Church, the Anglican Church, and other evangelicals across the country to help him stream or up his game and penetrate further the religious faithfuls within the country. Although the Anglican Church at some time, Archbishop Jackson Olisapit is on record of stating that the Anglican Church will come up with ways of banning politicians from using the pulpit, that was neither here nor there, because finally, you know, it is individual, and going to church remains individual. And barring politicians from going to church as individuals can be very counterproductive. But for now, it looks like William Samoei Ruto is so focused on using the church connection, and he hopes to achieve his political mobilization through religion. Many a time, the DP has come out strongly to cast his lot with the church in whatever role or issue which comes up, especially to do with the church. In 2010, if you remember very well, he was with the no side, where the church was also against the constitution because of certain tenets, because of certain contents within the constitution that the church felt that should not be part of that. Of course they lost, but the church stood their ground, and DP Ruto stood with them. Two, it can also be remembered that the president of Malawi, Dr. Chakwera, mobilized his votes through the connections he has. Remember, President Chakwera was the president of Malawi Assemblies of God for 24 years before, which is the largest Christian denomination in that country, before he finally came out and started gunning for political leadership. Finally, when the elections were called, he won, and then the repeat elections, he won. Now he's the president. Two, another example is President Magufuli of Tanzania. Even on the corona issue, he has always said that he will use his religious connection, his prayers within the church, to ensure that he prays and corona does not touch Tanzania. Whether that has worked in Tanzania or the corona issue is neither here nor there, because it is not the discussion of this issue. But what we know is that Deputy President William Samoei Ruto is a grassroots mobilizer. He's a hard-nosed grassroots mobilizer, and he is not leaving anything to chance. And he's gonna use this religious connection to ensure that he is in State House.
Neno la Mungu linatufundisha, tafuteni kwanza ufalme wa Mungu na haki yake, na haya mengine yote mtafanya nini? Mtaongezewa.